I'm here in Hillsborough, North Carolina at the Daniel Boone Village. This was once home in the early 60s to a theme park that was started by James Freeland. So let's walk around this place and let me show you around. Daniel Boone Village pretty much only consists of antique shops and a few other odds and ends now. It one time had a wax museum, a petting zoo, a train that went around this whole place, an amphitheater, and a few other places. But we're gonna walk around and see what still exists though, and I'm gonna try to find you as much as I possibly can. They say that the place at one time was in rivalry with Tweetsie Railroad in Blowing Rock. And it was a pretty big tourist attraction for a little while, but I guess it just wasn't big enough and it just didn't bring in enough revenue. Here's a train or a caboose from long ago. You can see the remnants of an old track. That was probably the old track that once went around this place. Here are some of the antique shops I was referring to earlier. There's the antique mall there. That barn you're looking at right there once, what still is, you can, sort of like a place you can renovate for parties or wedding receptions, or, yeah, it's the Big Barn Convention Center, so you can see right there, but you can, I think my company's had our Christmas party there before. Now that old blacksmith shop has been there for a long time as well. And that's another little antique shop. But that is pretty neat. I don't think it's used as a blacksmith shop anymore, but I could be wrong. Some of these old relics. Now I don't know if sometimes they're replicas. Now this is the real deal. See the old metal wheels suggest that it probably is an old-timey wagon from the 19th century. Let's go over here. I'm gonna show you this. Here's a building full of, see, James Freeland, who started all this, was actually nicknamed the Walt Disney of Hillsborough. He built many homes in this city. He built a lot of houses, he restored a lot of homes, and he did a lot for the community and helped a lot of people have homes that wouldn't have homes if not for him. But he also collected a lot of old vehicles. And these are a few of his. I think he passed away in the 1980s. So there's a better view of them. Now that is really cool. What I'm about to show you over here, That's an old relic right there. That's an old car. This is Judy Garland. This is supposedly the trolley that was in Meet Me in St. Louis. They said, and I've read and I've done some research, that he really did buy it. And I mean, they have the poster there, the old, it's too bad it's torn like that. But this is, I don't know, I've tried to watch that scene where the trolley scene in that musical, and I don't know, it just didn't look like it, but then again, I don't know. When the theme park here was started in the 60s, it was before Interstate 85 existed. And that may be why it was hard for them to make a profit here and for it to last through the years. But I don't, who knows, who's to say? Motel that's been closed for a few years now. And a little cabin back there. Looks like somebody does live in that. And that's I think a Mexican restaurant, and that one right there. Well guys, I found the remnants of the old track that out in the woods where the Daniel Boone train would come through. It was like, you know, of course it was like a Tweetsie Railroad. It was a theme park train. They ended up selling it to Carowinds from the research I did. So it was really, I thought I heard something, sorry. But anyway, look down here. You gotta check this out. This is so awesome. Let me turn this around, and it follows. You can see the gravel. You can even see, there's even, oh, look at the rail pin. Or the railroad pin, or whatever you'd call it. Old tires. This is why good old James Freeland was nicknamed the Walt Disney of North Carolina, I guess, or Hillsborough, North Carolina. So but that's so neat. Boom, 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 boom. Goes all the way that way. Looks like there's a fence down there. And it no longer exists, but up that hill is the campground that we lived in when we moved from Texas in the early 80s. We lived in a lot of southern Texas towns, a few of them. Baytown, Houston, a couple others I think. But anyway, we lived here, me, my parents, and my grandparents. I can actually vaguely remember. I was about 3 or 4, so I do kind of remember that a little more than, a little bit better than living in Texas, so. That is. I wanted to find more of the it looks like it wrapped around this way. That might be Seemed like in the picture there was a couple of tires. And I'm looking, yeah, I'm looking for the side rail. I don't know. If I can find it, I'll definitely be back and I will show you. Well, I'm sorry, I couldn't find the rest of the track, or at least the part of the track that I was looking for, that I was telling you about, but I found what I could, and I appreciate you viewing, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you.